twisted game, but deep within we feel the shiver. Coded lies try to keep us hypnotized, but the field begins to tear, and we're breaking out of their snare. Reality is bending, the truth is descending. We're tearing through the great disguise, seeing past the grand illusion, breaking free from all their lies. Welcome to the matrix of minds. We see through the shadows, leave the lies behind.
Brainiacs. Oh, look at all y'all. Gorgeous people. All right. Tonight, we're going to go all over around the globe to a specific special place that my friend, your friend, knows quite well. Probably like the back of his hand in places. Tonight, we're going to take a trip down memory lane as well as connect some dots and bring everybody up to speed with what's going on the Giza Plateau with our friend Richard Gabriel. He just got back from an expedition, and we're gonna get an update from Richard. This he's probably gonna not only connect some dots but probably put to rest so a lot of I'll say not propaganda, but what's the word I'm looking for? Hearsay, rumors. That's it. Rumors. There's a lot of rumors coming out of Giza right now. I know about them. I know a lot of you guys know about them too, but nevertheless, we're going to talk to Richard about some of these things. We're going to talk to him about the SAR scans. We're going to talk to him about what's going on the plateau, what the authorities are doing, what the authorities are not doing, and, well, where he stands as well as our team on the ground there at the Giza Plateau. You guys don't go anywhere. Share this broadcast, share this podcast, and when we come back, we will be right in front of Mr. Richard Gabriel. This man has got oh my God, I'm 50. He's got half my year's life under the dirt. You ain't gonna want to miss this. Don't go anywhere. What do you say, Brainiacs? You guys ready? It's time. It's showtime, brains. That's right. It's Matrix time. And it's go time. Welcome aboard, everybody. Let's go. Talk about ufology, conspiracy, controversy, and anything and everything that we can get into tonight. Let's go. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Get up, Brainiac! Yeah! It's definitely your show. Your show, and we appreciate you for being here. Buckle up, everybody. Aboard. Oh, ba-boom. Boom. Looky here. Wow. Right in front of the man. What's up, Richard? How are you?
Well, yeah, good evening. I'm so glad to catch you again, Matthew. I got to say that I feel like somebody on the starting block. You need to tweak the sound of feedback. I'm getting fallback.
Yeah, all right, let me kill it. There we go. You can still see my screen, but you ain't got no echo.
Okay,
All
brilliant.
right, there we go. Is that
Yeah,
better? Is
that's
it?
fine. That's great. Yeah,
There, better for you. All right.
disconcerting finding it folding back to me, but yeah. So here I am. It's early as the morning, but I feel like it's early evening. I'm stoked up as usual because I'm facing all this stuff from the trip I've just come back from, and I'm ready and raring to go. This time it was different. It was a different trip because it had been some 4 years since I was there last. So there's reasons for that, medical reasons. I've had a little bit of medical work done, and I got more to have done. That kept me away, but it didn't keep me away from the work because literally fixated on it 100% of the time on the screen or in contact with our fellow researchers, um, with ARF, our little organization, and
Me.
yes, and Matthew, of course. So I've been busy, but this trip, because so much has been developing over these last 4 years, hell of a lot. A
Yeah.
lot of changes, a lot of things happening on the plateau as well. I knew that this time I'd be going back there with a with an agenda that was going to likely, almost certainly, take me all over the plateau. It'd be like doing the rounds, when night time, when it's time to shut shop. You put on your coat, you get out the dog if you've got one, and you do the rounds of your perimeter. You check everything, the doors and all the rest of it. Make sure what's in place, what isn't in place. And that's really how I was going to go about it. I knew that I was going over there to test myself really, because I'm not a spring chicken. I've been around the block so many damn times. I'm in my 70s now. Um, I've still got a brain that tells me I'm 20, and that catches me out a lot of the time.
And your body will keep up with your brain until then,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. It's a few years now. Stopped smoking, but I've got COPD, and lung capacity is affected. But I'm still running around like a fool. I really, although I have caught in the last few years health issues, I don't recognize ill. I don't do ill.
Right.
It's a state of mind. I believe that totally. Even if you drop down next minute, it's still a state of mind to me anyway.
State of
So,
being. Yep.
state of being, yeah.
Sam tells us this all the time. Sam
Yeah,
tells us this all the time.
yeah, it's true. So, I'm going over there knowing I've got limitations, but really in a frame of mind where they catch up with you when they catch up with you, to hell, you push it as far as you can. So, really, there was no holds barred for anything, anywhere on the whole plateau. So many different things. I mean, in preparation really to talk tonight, I sort of got my little book out here. I've got my hand beside me. I'll refer down to that to remind me. And I've got down there, what, 16 so far? I know there's more, but 16 totally separate individual issues, subject matters on the plateau. And it means that in order for me to cover them, I will be rattling through them quite fast. And I'm also going to say, Matthew, if I may, at this stage, look, for the things that I miss on here, folks out there, I said I've been trying to cover these on my Facebook page while the website is still being populated. And what I've been doing is I've been throwing individual subjects from the plateau on my Facebook. And this time I've been accompanying them with galleries, because each time I come back with literally thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of photographs, and I pick the best out of those. But this time I've been putting in big galleries, tons of galleries on there, and I've still got loads more to do. And I have to say also that when the ARF website is finished, with your help and Wayne's, thank God you've been there to help. I've got over 20 tetrabytes of material from well over 20 years It's massive. It's colossal. I mean, thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of photographs and things. I don't think there's probably there's hardly an inch of the Giza Plateau and beyond that I haven't photographed, haven't caught in photographs, and inside everything. And this time, as you'll see as I run through this, I did get inside a hell of a lot of stuff. Okay, so that's just a little bit of a background to it. And the other thing is to say to folks out there, I'll say it to my one listener out there.
You're
uh,
one listener. You
yeah,
got more. Trust me, you got more than one listener.
okay, but I always refer to my one listener and my imaginary person out there. Um, uh,
Richard's one imaginary friend.
yeah, and what I say is this: look, um, it's a standard. I've done it in my writing, said this so many times now. When you talk about convictions for things, knowing things, convictions aren't, in my book anyway, they're not transferable. Convictions have got to be arrived at individually by your own tested experience. So, where does that leave me? When I'm passionate, I've got such a passion. People say, don't get worked up. Don't, it's not anger or anything, it's just solid passion. Um, and all I can say to people is, look, judge me by my passion. You know, um, I tell it off the cuff as it is, very spontaneous about anything and everything. Take me in my sincerity, and then take it away yourself and put it to your test. If you're uncertain, thinking, oh, that's a load of rubbish or that's interesting, take it to your own experience and test it. When I'm talking about things in the plateau and I've got ideas and conclusions, um, you could say that things that I've arrived at as a belief to do with, in particular, the Giza Plateau and everything, every aspect of it. Um, I've weighed everything that I've experienced. My journey's been intuitive, experiential, and I've weighed all of that up as I've gone along. And I end up with something that has a strength of probability in my mind that I accepted. This is what I believe. And I believe it through the strength of probability out of my experience. I'm not saying to you, look, even though it's first person singular, I'm saying this is the way it is. I'm saying to you as a listener, please take that and put it through your own test. Don't just dismiss it because you disagree with it or you're not quite sure of it. All I would say to you is, look, I'm offering you the product of all of the decades of experience and the tunnel rat mentality that I know I've got. I'll just dive into things, and if I experience it, then I can draw my own conclusion from it. And I'll just say to you, look, take that yourself and go away and test it yourself until you come to your own conclusion. But don't beat me with a stick because you think you've got a knee jerk reaction to what I'm saying. Now, as I go through some of the stuff today, I mean, I'll be going far out there because there's some stuff here and things that not just I, but I and my colleagues and others are learning now that's coming out of the Giza Plateau. There has been a change, and there is a change occurring right now. I promise you, there is. One of the main reasons for that has been the the wonderful innovation of the SARS team, the Italian team, who used satellite processes. I'm not going to go into the technicals of it. It's out there. SARS. Just Google that, and you get the whole lot. But essentially, they couldn't be controlled by the authorities on the Giza Plateau when they turned their attention to do investigation there, because they were using technology that didn't belong to Egypt, couldn't be stopped by Egypt. It was from space technology elsewhere. But when it was turned on the Giza Plateau, we're going back now a year and more, lo and behold, in total defiance of what our God help us, may God forgive us, our friend Zahi Hawass, in defiance of what he said and is on record as saying, if there was something in there, we'd know about it. There's nothing there. There's nothing. We would know. But there is something. There's plenty because the SARS, they showed that the internals of the Great Pyramid, not just the one, I'm not just referring to the one chamber that is a sort of mirror of the grand, um, the, the staircase, the large void that's above the grand gallery. I'm talking about the fact that the Great Pyramid now being shown through the SARS results. It's like a cheesecake. There's tunnels, chambers, huge, running all through it, below it, around it. Now, to some extent, for me anyway, that was a validation because, years ago I was told, for example, let's think now, senior guy. I'm going to be careful of what I say
Yeah.
because he could still be traced back through. A senior person who worked as part of the official team in the vicinity of the Great Pyramid. And he told me there's a couple of things I learned from him. And he told me from the mastaba there, he said there's a shaft there that goes down through, goes into the ground, across underneath and up into the lower part of the Great Pyramid. This was ages ago. And I never attempted to sneak into that mastaba to validate it. Just took it at face value, just as I've asked myself with what I'm saying. What he was saying. But I got so much other information from him and photographs and so on. So I learned about that. So there I am. I've got this in my head that there's a chamber down in that corner. We're talking of the southwest corner of the Great Pyramid. Now, when I saw the SARS stuff, it tied up with that, and I thought, oh, there you go. No big thing. It was just a personal thing to me. Great. I was privileged to get that information from somebody close. And it was just validated when the SARS stuff came out. I was very excited. I thought, great. Thank you, Thank you, Lord, for letting me
Right, right.
That was one thing, and then there's the other thing, the story that I had heard. Well, not just heard, I mean, firsthand, because I know a lot of people on the plateau, so it's not just speculative stuff. It's not like, coming and visiting a tourist shop there. We're going for so long.
How long exactly have you? Because again, like you said, yeah, I've got friends over there. I've got friends over there, and them friends have what you've told me is that they've accepted you almost as family over there.
Yeah.
So how long exactly? I made fun saying you've got half my years of life living under the plateau, but this is no joke. How long have you actually been doing this?
Well, they're doing this now. I mean, with the recent years. I mean, it's 25 years now, I guess.
Yes. Well, okay. I'm 50, so you've been doing this shit for half of my life.
Okay. So and that was one example. Another one was another good one that ties in with NC2, which we'll get to shortly, and that was when the Japanese worked closely with the Egyptians. Now, all I can tell you is what I've been told about that relationship. It's a good relationship. They work well because there's some very, 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 very highly skilled and able people work with the Japanese. Not to say that they don't with other countries' experts. Right. We're focusing on the Japanese at the moment, but also there seems to be an almost unlimited booty bag of funds coming from the Japanese, which opens every door you can think of on the plateau. You write that down. Take a note on that.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So the other thing was, of course, where the solar boat was, again, alongside the Great Pyramid, the Japanese, it was attributed to them, another solar boat was found, another pit just behind the first one. And when they excavated or opened that up, to shorten the story, what they did was before they put a building over it, or a temporary building over it, to work on it, They used the equivalent of huge timbers, like railway sleepers, you could say, and they covered covered the top of the pit. Now the boat down there this time, it wasn't made up; it was flattened out. The timbers were down there, but it was a complete boat. And what they did was, in order to have a big press conference, which they do, it brings tons more money in. Money, 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 money. Always money, money, money.
Yeah.
You know, the whole place lives on money, money. Um, you know you're in Egypt when you just look at the size of people's pockets and how much they're bulging. Uh, yeah, sorry, that was me being a bit facetious, but still.
Sorry, that's the
Yeah,
emotion. It's emotion coming out.
yeah, that's just the experience over there. So anyway, it's a culture. Um, so what they did was they put the sleepers across the boat pit, but they didn't cover the whole thing. They left a middle gap, and oh, it was a big thing on the day. Oh my God, dozens and dozens of people, press and everything, huge thing. I mean, they're very good at doing a press presentation, whatever it may be. It's always a big event. It's a big money event as well. But you see, there was method in the madness, because by only leaving a center part open, it meant that the whole pit wasn't exposed. They would say, well, it made it safer. But the whole pit wasn't exposed. Now, I'm talking to my man there on the spot, who's working, with the guys there, talking about the local working groups. And I'm well in, got a lot of people there. And he knows my interest and things that I'm involved in over there. And he was quite candid, off the cuff, to talk to me about it. And he said, oh yeah, yeah. He said, when we got down there and moved the timbers and everything, we found in the bow, of what would be in the bow of the boat pit area, we found a fissure, an opening into the side of the rock at the face, and that led into the system, into the tunnel system, the underground tunnel system.
See, they're not familiar with what you just said. So where's this? Where would be the tunnel? Where would the for everybody that's not knowing what we're saying? Where is this tunnel system located?
Okay, then
To bring
that's
to
easy
bring
enough.
people
I mean,
up to speed.
I gotcha, I gotcha. It's all over the place, Matthew, but I'll focus on this bit to link it in, right? When you if you were coming in, oh, hang on, I've got sound. You're talking, it looks like, and I can't hear you.
I'm
Yeah,
talking. There you
go ahead. Yes, I beg your pardon, Matthew. I didn't realise. Do you want to catch up on me there to say anything?
go. No, I was just saying to you, like a lot of the audience doesn't know what tunnel system that you're referring to. Whenever you
Okay,
say a tunnel system, what the hell? A tunnel system where, right?
okay,
So
okay.
bring people up to speed. Because of the I guess because of the clearance, the security risk.
Yeah.
I don't say shit. I,
Okay.
I, I don't. I don't say. I'm very careful as to what I say to protect yourself as well as the other team on the plateau.
Okay.
So
Good.
I don't want to say anything to get anyone in trouble. Follow what I'm saying? So again, just bring everybody up to speed. What tunnel system
Okie
are we
dokie.
referring?
Right. Now, in referring to this, I've given an overview on the subject of a tunnel system. I unavoidably, I'm going to touch on a few areas that I need to elaborate further on with regards to my sojourns on this trip. So I'll come back to them. But just as an overview, I would say this. Look, take it from the SARS, right? The SARS identified what we speculated. It goes back in legend to the Giza Plateau. It was said, that deep below the Giza Plateau there was a repository, a place, a city, that matched the Yucatan Peninsula, which was flooded and caught in disaster, but that the Giza Plateau It still exists there. There are three fissures that are known to run down through, geologically run down through the plateau, which would have been very handy to dig deep and go down underneath. We know that the Giza Plateau contains a harbour and major mega constructions, which were superseded by repair work and also mud brick construction afterwards. There's evidence of that by the bucketful has been turned up over the years, and even now you can see it. You can actually,
Right.
if you wander about the plateau, you can see where there's red granite from Aswan and other constructions, limestone constructions, which have got mud brick constructions built on top of them. You can actually see it there now around Menkora, at the top of the causeway of Menkora, the third pyramid. You could see loads of it up in through that avenue there. And other places. It's just to say to you, look, um, there is legend that goes back that says there's a huge, vast underground. Number one. Number
Mm-hmm.
two, we know from our work and our time in the village, village of Nazlet El Saman, which was in the eastern side of the plateau, facing the Great Pyramid and the others. Running along there, half of that has been scalped and got rid of by the authorities because they want to turn the whole place into Giza Disney, lined with plush hotels. But in doing so, they've killed hundreds to thousands of years of history there by doing so. I'll come back to it, as I said.
Okay. Okay.
But that village, it concealed shafts and tunnels that we were aware of, we visited, knew of over the years, that led into the plateau and went deep, very, very deep. And if you go down to the south side of the plateau where the Solar Cross is, beyond the cemetery and further off out, nearly to the back end of the plateau that's enclosed by the Great Wall of Giza. Oh, to protect. No, 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 no. It's to possess it.
Oh.
That's
Oh. All right.
um, and down at the Solar Cross area, you've got shafts from there oh my God, they go down way over 100 feet. And they're also inverted at the bottom. They're like upside down pyramid shape, which has an effect on energy. Down at the Solar Cross, at that end there, the energy from the ground that comes up, if you're sensitive to such energies, I mean, it'll literally lift you off your feet. But we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
the tunnel system underneath. Now, from there, I mean, I learned from the keeper there, you know, people who know of them and discuss them and talk about them, you know, locals, but locals who talk about the childhood when there was no walls there, and they were the police for the plateau. It was their backyard, and they looked after it. And sure, yeah, they got trinkets and things out of the ground to supplement their poverty that they were kept in. But at the same time, as children, they explored, went into and explored these very deep underground passages and tunnels and hallways and all sorts. And there were kids that were lost back in that time. You know, it's talked about by villagers now, older villagers, but you'll be hard pressed to find anything so negative as that written in books anywhere. Just need to talk to the locals, for God's sake. They're good, 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 salt of the earth people. So you got, I'm rattling around the plateau at the moment, thinking of examples that support the idea that below ground there is this vast network. Go to NC2, you know, my crowning glory of interest. The entrance at the top end of the plateau, um, the entrance of Agatha Demon, uh, the benevolent snake, that goes deep down into the plateau that was explored in recent times, a couple hundred years ago, by Henry Salt and Giovanni Caviglia, where they went as far as what I call, I've just put a nickname to it, seems to have stuck the tube tunnel at about 350 feet down. We know the plateau goes further than that, which they explored, you know, and he described the colonnaded chambers that go much deeper and with tunnels leading off that went further into the plateau. Now, with the means that those two guys had at the time, they didn't take it further. You know, I guess they used lit torches and things. They don't have the sophistication of our gear that we have now. So they recorded that. That's in writing in their reports. The SARS stuff, the SARS have show this network of tunnels and everything down below ground. I got feedback from contacts that I have, from I identified the doorway that's Kefren, the middle pyramid. And to the right of that, if you're looking from the village side, so you're looking at the north side of the cliff adjacent to that provided material for the building or further building of the Kefren, the middle pyramid. And right in the corner there's an entrance that's blocked up with boulders. I got pictures in there, and I was able to show you. There's a doorway in there, and there's all sorts. There's illustrations and things. And I speculated, the route plan of NC2 down through the plateau. I sort of drew the correlation from that to where the tectonic faults are, to where the radiography shows a shadow of something. Yeah, you've got on the screen now. Left hand there is the entrance.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I've got it.
I've got it. I can pop it up when I do a screen share with you in a minute. I was able to postulate that had to be an entrance that led into the NC2 system at a lower point, lower to where Salt and Caviglia were talking about. Anyway, I kept quiet about it for such a long time. In the meantime, I talked to the director of the plateau, and I wrote to the authorities a number of times over the years, where I'd spent God knows how many visits. I'm not going to go into the detail of it, but I managed to get into the system over many years, and I spent protracted times inside. And my enemy knows me will know what I'm going to say now is to be the absolute gospel. That I'm not interested in the banner headlines and all the egoistic bullshit and stuff. I'm interested in knowing. I want to know. I want to understand where all this came from, who created it, the wonderful things that I saw inside. How, why, the whys, all the questions about it. I knew from being in the system all those times that down to the tube tunnel at about 350 feet, that within that system, even the part that I managed to access and I managed to measure and managed to investigate, I studied and figured out there's so many influences in there that bridge different ages of time. It bridges the ages of the Egyptians back to their early beginnings. There's ages in there that can be tracked and linked to symbology in objects, in the artifacts that are in there. And in the illustrations that I found on the walls, which are all the way down through. You can barely see them with the naked eye, but through high definition, ultra high definition photography and the analysis of the pictures. And I'm going to put some up on the screen in a minute, but as I said, in my Facebook page, you can go and find all of these. But I was able to see from those that the influences that were being highlighted clearly went back beyond earliest Egyptian times. There is evidence in there, there has been evidence in there to support back through to earliest Egyptian times, but it doesn't stop there, it goes further. That's the point. It goes to an earlier, further time. It goes to a time before everything was inundated by water and disaster to create the mud, which resulted in the mud brick, which was built onto things that were built before the mud brick. Excuse me, duh.
Did you just say duh?
Yeah,
Smart ass.
exactly. I
Duh.
mean, people are speculating on this. The evidence is there. You
Right.
don't have to think about it. It's there. Duh. Again. And there's plenty other things to think about there that doesn't require. Uh, it doesn't require half a lifetime of academic learning to. Oh, don't even start me. Um, so the point I'm trying to make is that there's enough, not just anecdotal, but physical evidence to show that there is something, even GPR underground, that was taken into that halfway point. It was proved to be because, sorry, I'll jump back to it. Because when I just out of complete frustration, I tried and tried with the authorities to share what I'd got. And all I wanted from them, every time I contacted, and even when I was speaking to the director, I said, look, I've got no ambitions to even have my name associated with it. I said I would just like to be part of any team that uncovers. I'd like to go to my grave, understand. This is my obsession. I would like to understand it as far as it's possible to understand, to be reminded. I feel that ancestrally, back in time, we as a people were part of it. Forget all your alien stuff and all that. That's a different story, different page, different time. I'm talking about ancestral people that were caught by disaster, who, in a different form of technology, were more advanced than we are. Who
Well,
used
that's the thing.
crystalline technology. They used earth energies, telluric energies, which I'll come back to in a minute from my wanderings this time.
He's about to shake the shit out of academiology. That's what he's about to do. So everybody just brace yourselves.
Yeah.
This is what
So, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to be bloody well factual.
don't be sorry. I mean,
Um,
these are the things that need said.
you know,
Academiology doesn't want to touch
no, they
what
don't.
what
You
you're
see,
talking about.
here we are to where I started about convictions and so on. My belief and acceptance is that um, there was a people who lived. They were ancestral to us, who lived in a vastly ancient time, who were caught by a global disaster. I'm not even going to go into the detail of it. I'm just saying it produced, in any case, through inundation, a covering of silt, mud, and all the rest of it, which people who survived, who managed to survive by their skills of being underground and so on, being able to go underground and create a living home underground in more than one place on the planet, um, and re-emerged, who are still there, some of them. That's a story as well I can come to, that brings me to that, to be so strong to say that. Um, and yeah, they use the mud brick to repair and continue. That's a tube tunnel that you put up on the screen now.
I'm getting it.
Yeah, you got
I'm
it.
more.
Um, so, there's anecdotal stuff, and I could go on and on and on, from sources on the plateau. The keeper, for instance, over the Solar Cross, he told me about, oh yes, and there is a full story to that puts clothes to the story. But the result of the story was, being as we're being selective here, pulling stuff out, to support the idea of an vast underground complex, repository, whatever. Um, he described in a candid fashion, yeah, sometimes I go see them, sometimes they come up to me. Yeah, really? Well, okay, fine. Thank you very much. I take you for the simple honesty that you're able to give me. And so it goes on and on and on. I have arrived personally. I have no difficulty whatsoever in accepting that, the world is talking about reptiles and other things living underground. So that may well be the case. But for me, I'm quite happy to accept the fact, to me, that there are our ancestors of an advanced state who continued in their advanced state, but living in a survival zone below ground, deep below ground. And that the technology that the SARS results, the satellite results, are pointing to, that is of their technology. It's of an Earth to do with the balancing, vibrational balancing of energies, electromagnetic energies on the Earth. That is tied to the hundreds, if not thousands, of huge pyramids all over the Earth and off planet that have been identified on the Moon and on Mars, and I believe elsewhere too. It's the biggest secret that's hidden in plain sight.
Yeah,
And,
right.
and they don't, you see, what's been said to me, and I accept this. The reason why we're not hearing about it openly, why they're not talking about it openly, is because the darkest powers that be, the ones that are involved with reptilian coercion and collaboration, those people at all cost, they want to possess what that represents. The ancient, the power that went with it. They wish to possess it for themselves, to make of it for themselves. That is why, Matthew, that is why within NC2, I'm jumping back to it like an elastic band. That is why in NC2, and I'm going to show you a couple of examples in a minute, where you've got this priceless record through the system, even down as far as the tube tunnel, where the walls are covered in these walls of record. They've got the most fabulous things on the walls that go back to an ancient time, an ancient advanced time. That is why, despite the priceless nature of them, the utterly priceless nature of them, and I know where there's gold down below. I know I could be careful. I know where the precious stuff still that they've missed. I know they've missed. But it's why they have gone in there, why wrecking teams have been put in there at the halfway point and from the top point, and they've been put in there to smash the hell out of the place. Because they, despite its precious nature, they're quite happy to do that, to diminish the importance to forthcoming generations or forthcoming explorers or anybody else who comes into the system again and looks around and thinks, oh, this isn't worth much or anything.
Right.
It's all broken to bits. They've done it because the prize to them deeper is infinitely more powerful. They want the technology that goes with the things that we talk about. Think back half a dozen years, just that. And we already half a dozen years ago into times where if you mentioned to somebody, a thinking, intelligent person on the street, what do you think about anti-gravity? And they
Exactly.
Get up the road, you stupid, go and have another drink. Now it's accepted. Now it is accepted as something that is real.
Mm-hmm.
We made the transition on that. There's still people that go anti-gravity. Those that aren't sort of informed or aren't sort of freaks like me that are into stuff like that, like nerds and so on, that bother to find out about it. Now it's an accepted thing. That's just one example. And what I'm saying is that all this stuff is now being forced to the surface because the stranglehold on it isn't there as it was before, because technology outside of Egypt is able to put the spotlight on and reveal all this. And I know at the moment there is information that is known that can validate stuff that is being suppressed at the moment, because in order to force it out of the ground, if I could put it that way, you've still got to get through these crusty farts, friends of the reptiles, and probably a few amongst them, who have got this grip on everything over there, this stranglehold on the truth over there.
Mm-hmm. And that's always been the problem. That has been the problem.
That's the problem. Who will sit on something and
Yes.
they will say, "We're announcing we've just found this," and it's like the vaulted cavern beneath the entrance to the Great Pyramid. What a load of tosh! Like, that was known about, years ago when the whole frontage was opened up. Of course, it was known of then. For God's sake, no, it was just sat on because it's not very inspiring. There's nothing much we can do about it. No,
Right.
but when it was required, straight after when the SARS announcements came about the Great Pyramid, they needed a way to try and get down into the system, didn't they?
Yeah, they
So
did.
a gift, didn't they? So they got a cavern, they got something there already leading down into it. Um, and then they closed the Great Pyramid down, but of course that wasn't going to last. Why? Simple, because it was killing all the money that was coming from the tourists going in there. You're
It's
looking at
absolutely
Hawara
right.
there. That's the Hawara entrance up on the screen there.
We don't know
Um,
nothing about this place.
yeah, it's Hawara. I mean, that's big now. Hawara's being opened up again now, currently. And if you want to know about Hawara, talk to Bill Brown, okay?
Right.
Because he and his team there, he was part of a previous expedition there and knows so much about it. And it's about to be opened up again, properly excavated. The whole thing is millions going into it. So yes, it's another thing. So yeah, NC2, my God. So now what have they done? They've blocked the entrance up completely. And can I put? Now you're at the cleanup area down by the village corner.
Yeah, I'm just going through your images as you speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, are you free to share whenever
Yeah.
you're ready to
Let me
share?
let me pull this up then, okay? If I can get to it.
Again.
Right, straight up on the screen. If you're able to, can you see that, or do I have to do anything?
No, we can't see anything.
Hang on a
Not
minute.
yet, anyway.
Let's pull that down. Share screen. Have I got to click share screen anywhere here?
Mm-hmm.
Where's my share screen on here then? I can't see where I'm supposed to.
Let me. I guess I can try to. Let me unshare my screen, and you might have it. It's at the bottom of your main window.
Right there. Oh, I see what you mean. Do that again. Oh, hang on.
I can't do that again. You got to do that again.
There it is. Share screen. There we go. Is that on yours now?
No.
Okay. Hang on a minute. Where to share? The contents of your screen.
No.
Select the tab to share back to the sounds. Where is it on some tab?
No, it's Ben. You know what? I'll go through the comments real quick as you look for that. Mr. Benny Trent, I do believe, asked earlier.
Yeah.
Benny asked in the Trovo chat about the SARS scan and what is it? What, if any, is there an update on shafts, chambers related to the underground portion of the Sphinx? He did ask that.
There's tons. Look,
Sure.
you can go back. Here we go again. You see, over the years, the evidence has been there in plain sight, but the machine of the authorities has been so powerful, and we're as a race, we're so deferent, aren't we, to authorities? Oh well, they say it's true, so it must be true. BS.
Well, sure.
know.
I seen it on the internet. The shit is real.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying.
And it's the same with with the Sphinx and what's beneath it. As part a major central part of the network. It's connected into the page. Right. Stay with me, guys, because I'm going to go on a rattle here. I can't
All
get
right.
to the pictures just yet, and we'll try again a bit later. I want to concentrate and just
It's
rattle on here,
okay.
right? So
All right.
let's do a bit of connection here with the tunnels and so on.
Yes,
Now,
there are some.
we
Yes,
know-
Benny, there are. Hang
we
on.
know about getting to listen. We know that there's tunnels all over. There's a big confluence of tunnels underneath. We know about tons of them already. We definitely know of them because we've seen them. We've seen some of the tunnels, the shafts, and things. Right? We've been there. Authorities don't like to know it. As they destroy part of the village, they've been destroying the tunnels and the shafts. Too late. We've been down there, boys. We've seen them. We've been into them. So yours, right?
You're right.
We know
Yeah.
for sure.
Exactly.
So, okay, let's just jiggle about a bit here over time, we know that there's a confluence of tunnels, from the corner of the village, and ask Bill Brown about that again. But he knows all the information there. He's the leading person holding the knowledge in his head. the authorities should give him a lot more credence than they have done, a lot more respect than they have done so far. There's still a chance for that. But I'll take you in a couple of places here. So we know that there's a tunnel confluence of tunnels from the village side to the plateau side, and you've got the Sphinx just over from there. The Sphinx Harbour is there. Oh Lord, and the stories that go with that, you know. I don't want to divert too much. I'll try and hold that in my head and go back to it. Yeah, so a few years ago, the Americans were there doing huge excavations, sculpting the ground down, sculpting the ground down, and suddenly, boom, like a guillotine, the contract wasn't renewed. Something like 4 million contract wasn't renewed. Why? Well, they got down to a certain level and exposed some of mud brick construction. And the authority said, oh, we know who that's attributed to, fine. And then they proceeded to bash it down. But at the time, the best that they could do was they got tons and dozens and dozens of students in who were new to archaeology, to dig the ground over, excavate down, learn what they could from the ground. And we infiltrated as students, right, at the time. You have to cut your cloth and your clothes to suit, and that allowed us to learn what we learned at the time. And yeah, there were tunnels and ways, entrances, and so forth. And we speculated at the time. Oh, blimey! Now the Americans have been stopped excavating here. It's not going to be long before they mount an operation to see what they can. I say they, the authorities, to see what they can get out of it. They've probably already learned a whole bunch of stuff. So what did they do? Well, as we filmed in the nighttime from the Burger King balcony up on top, until they put a sign up to block line of vision. They must think people are stupid, you know. Oh dear, there's a sign there now. We can't see through. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? You know, then maybe somebody didn't think of it at the time. The hell they did. It was bloody done deliberate, wasn't it? Anyway,
Yeah.
so we got film anyway in the night time. You imagine, right? If you were working, if you got a road crew working nighttime, you'd set up spotlights for them, wouldn't you? You know, to shine down so they would see what they were doing. Seems fair, isn't it? Well, they did put spotlights up on the plateau the one night. They did a huge circle of them. You know, I imagined like in the American West, you know, where the wagons were drawn in a circle with the Indians going around the outside. Well, in this case, the Indians weren't running around the outside. They were up on the balcony of the Burger King. And in this case, it wasn't wagons in a big circle. It was huge stands with mega bright lights. But the lights weren't shining down to where they were working. No, they were shining outwards. So anybody looking in from anywhere, if they'd been on the moon looking down, they'd have been blinded by the bloody light shining at them.
Yeah, you couldn't see because of the floodlight cast.
You couldn't see anything that was going on. Or what you could see was very, very little. But as we found that by going in with zoom on cameras, it was possible to pick up stuff. And by the beauty, as I've found over the years, of the ability to be able to analyze high definition photographs, even if there were stills taken from frames of a movie, you could analyze those and get something out of them. And boy, oh boy, we did get something out of them. And we got forklift trucks in there, lifting huge sarcophagi or statues, there's one or the other or both, and putting them onto low loaders and having them away. Really? Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. And then what happened afterwards? Well, afterwards, they covered in all the excavations there and buried them again with sand. Oh my God, if only people realized. But before they did, remember about that time also, they came up with another story. Oh, these tales, my God, like Aesop's fables. So this one, oh my Lord, you made the headlines. Yeah, we're all getting very worried because of the rising damp from the ground. The water was starting to leach up into the monuments, into the rubble of the monuments and the Sphinx and so on. Oh, after all these tens of thousands of years, now, yeah, I'm getting serious. Yeah. So, what we're going to do? We're going to pump the water out from the water table. Now, I might not be the brightest spark around, but um, I can't help but think to myself, if you took a water pump down to the riverside or even the seaside, and you put it into the water and started pumping the water out, and somebody came up to you and said, "What are you doing?" And you said, "Well, I think the river is a bit high, or the sea's a bit high. I need to pump some of the water away." They'd look at you and think that you're off your bloody trolley, wouldn't they?
Well, of course. Of
Um,
course they would.
now, how about if the pump that you were using? Gets even better. This is really good. Imagine that the pump you were using didn't have a pump on it to actually take the water away. So as the pump is pumping, it's splashing water out from its side because it's got no means of water being taken away from it, even if there was somewhere for it to go away. So okay, let's go back to the plateau now. Oh my God. At the time, I couldn't think why anybody else hadn't figured it out. I laughed and I laughed myself to sleep every night. Honest to God, crying with laughing almost. Thought the bloody. So they put these pumps in place, big thing, all the tooling and all the rest of it. And there's one here, and we'll put one there, and another one over there, and okay, we'll have one over there, and oh yeah, look, that's looking a bit, yeah, we'll have one there as well. So they put these pump installations. In fact, they dug the road up, and we'll put one there as well. Okay, fine. I happen to dig that one up where there's an actual temple buried under the road, by the way. The one that they've copied by the side of the Sphinx. That's a copy of the one that's buried under the road, by the way. So
I'm gonna try to find what you're talking about.
you don't have to. I'll put all the pictures on. I'm going to do a feature on all these. I photographed them all, and I photographed the fact that all the dials inside when they put them in place, none of them were working. I thought it was, oh, I'm so surprised that none of them's working.
Here,
But
here,
then, but the
this
biggest laugh of all was, I knew when I went down was two things I can tell you. You'll start laughing with me. Well, there's no infrastructure here. Where's the channeling? Where's the trenches and the pipe work coming away from each of these pumps to the canal at least before they covered it over? Couple hundred yards further away, parallel with the main road. The open thing. It was like an open sewer until they covered it over. Where's the pipe work? If the pumps really are, give them that. Okay, let's say they are working. Where are they pumping water? Oh yeah, true. There's no pumps to put the water anywhere else, is there? Right. That's strange. And the dials don't seem to show that they're working. Very interesting.
right.
And hang on a minute. The water down below the water table, that's seasonal, but that's like an underground sea. That is water flowing underground. It's an aquifer. I mean, it's known. It's like underground sea, and it's
Mm.
like trying to pump the sea. I didn't ask, but I wondered if anybody there was called Canute. Um,
Canute.
yeah, Canute.
You'll laugh at this. You'll laugh at this. Like, you're talking about pumps. You're talking about water pumps,
Yeah,
and I've got to share this screen because it chimes right in with what Benny is saying and that you're saying about the pumps. And the screen here speaks volumes. Benny asked about the chambers, what's going on under the Sphinx. You're talking about the water pumps trying to, and Hawass is right here saying nothing to see here. LOL. because this screen right here speaks volumes. Okay, we know this because here's the thing, Benny. And again, I'm going to bring everybody up to speed. I'm going to try to make this. I'm going to condense what Richard said about the water levels and shit. Now we know for a fact. Richard can verify this. Bill Brown can verify this. Anybody that has studied that plateau can tell you there are Swiss cheese. It looks like Swiss cheese and chambers and tube tunnels, ventricle chamber, everything. I was going through Richard's photos and showed you. You can literally be walking down the desert on the plateau off of the beaten path, and you will literally feel the ground kind of shift or move. Okay, now this is just here's what I know. You literally could be walking down just off the beaten path, down through the plateau, and notice the ground feels different. Okay. Now, mind you, when I said that, I said it to say this: these guys are smart, but yet stupid. They will literally unearth these chambers. Okay, find them in the middle of the night, the dead of night, and that's half of where all of the shit, the antiquities go, is at night. They literally do that. Am I lying, Richard? They vanish at night. Okay. So, what I'm saying is you can go through the plateau and you can walk on the dirt, and then it feels odd. And the next thing you know, you take away the sand from where you're standing, and oh my God, look, this looks like a 3/4 inch or a 1/2 inch sheet of plywood covering up something. What is it covering up? Mm-hmm. Well, what it's covering up is covering up a chamber. It's covering up a ventricle shaft. These things are not new. It's just these things aren't shown and shared with the public. They know where these things are at. In fact, I just went through Richard's photos, and you guys seen it, where it was literally what he was showing. That was one. That absolutely was one. Mm-hmm. Am I lying, Richard? Am I telling the truth, or am I blowing smoke in these people's ass?
Absolutely. I mean, you don't go far enough. In fact, I'll pull back with one little additional anecdote to do with the Sphinx Square, which has now got construction on it.
There we go. Good example.
Yeah.
Right here. This is a damn good example right here.
Okay, I haven't got anything on my screen. I can't see what you're showing.
Let me share my screen with you, and you'll see it. You'll definitely see it. Very good example right here. So let me zoom into this picture. Okay.
Yeah.
Now again, this is what people don't really get. This is the desert. This is literally the plateau. Okay.
Yeah.
And right there, Richard's hands. He's probably going, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, now mind you, these are brick. These are absolutely bedrock brick, right here.
Yeah. No, they're everywhere. There's shafts everywhere. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Everywhere.
And these are absolutely not natural. These what you're looking at is this. Again, nothing to see here. Richard, I'm sorry to cut you off. But all I was trying to do is catch Benny up on what you were saying.
Yeah.
And that is that the shafts that are under the Sphinx are absolutely real. And what's funny, the funny story that you were saying is that they were moving water, but yet putting the water right back in which they were moving.
They weren't even moving water, Matthew. The whole thing was a blinder. It was bullshit.
Bullshit.
It's bullshit. The whole thing was bullshit. And here's another thing, and I'll give you some motivation why would they do that. Well, I'll give you a reason, because it was actually I think I told you the story. So while I'm up on the roof, sort of watching these events, and I'm following it on a day by day. One major excavation that was taking place at the time was in the Sphinx Square, the central area there that's being built on now. And that's for a purpose as well, no doubt about that. And they got, it they got heavy machinery on there, and they were bringing in goods, like using it as a depot point for putting their materials for doing all the water pump constructions. And I see this big square, large. I don't know. I don't know. So 10, 15 foot by 10, 15 foot by, it was up to waist. So 4 foot high or whatever. And I piqued my interest. What the hell's under that?
Right.
Well, I see they got guards down there, and they're starting to put up barriers around each excavation area for the pump. I thought, my God, are the pumps so important? At the time, we were speculating, are they that important that they got to screen the area off? I mean, it wasn't as busy then as it is now, and that was within the Sphinx Square area anyway. Okay,
Right.
but they weren't screening off where they were doing it elsewhere, just there. So I thought, there's something afoot here. Don't take it for granted. How can you figure it out? So, one of the ploys um, is to act like a dumb, stupid tourist. And I
Right.
take gear with me to either look like an outlandish student or look like one of the locals. And I thought, right, I'm going to become the dumb tourist today. So I went down there, and there's a guard there. Just he's there, just looking around and keeping an eye on the materials and all the rest of it. And I'm just sauntered across, and I'm like doing the dumb tourist thing. You're taking pictures of the sky and the sand, just anything and everything. I point the camera, click, and just gulping, chin on my chest, I'm taking pictures. I'm a tourist, and yeah, I know where that is as well. So and I sauntered over, and I managed to get myself over to where they covered this whatever it was material that was there with tarpaulin. And when the guard was looking the other way, I already established, it wasn't tied; it was just resting over. I flipped the tarpaulin back over, and I realised these was hundreds of bags of cement there. Woo! Really? Yeah. So then, okay, and the guard, I mean, he had me off. He was kicked my ass off the plateau. He didn't like that at all. And, so I took position up again. I really kept watch from the rooftop in the village. And the next thing I see, they brought in some concrete mixing lorries. The ones that turn and turn and turn and then pour concrete out.
Mm-hmm.
And they were loading those up from these bags, but by then they got these big screens up so people couldn't see what they were doing. But I bloody could see them, I knew, because I was right up high. And I took photographs. I got all photographs of all this, and I will share it in a feature. And it dawned on me, I put two and two together, and by the arguments of probability, I know exactly what the buggers were doing. What they'd done was they drilled down through into the tunnel system, and that's a confluence there. The village tunnels lead across there, and I mean, time will prove me right or wrong, but I'd lay a big bet on that I'm right on this. That leads across to now. When the Americans dug down, sculpted the ground, it allowed them to get down close to it. They did their excavations. They loaded all the stuff away that they needed or they wanted or found there within that vicinity, and they decided that they wanted to safeguard in case people, when the word was out, people were getting closer and closer from tunnel network. Remember, on that corner of the village, Matthew, that's where our six friends were murdered
Mm-hmm.
underground. That's a story
Right.
on its own. It's all documented, and I put two and two together with that, and I thought I know exactly what's going on here. These buggers, they know that the tunnels lead from the village, and people are getting so close, not least of all ourselves, to get into the tunnel network going deep under the plateau by the Sphinx. We're going back in donkey's years now. We're going back. Some of the earliest records of what's below ground was from the Rosicrucians. I got plans from there when we first were over there. The aid to Nasser, our friend there that looked after us. and he gave us some documents there that were really sort of confidentially given at the time. But they showed the diagrams, Rosicrucian diagrams that are now sort of openly shared around on the internet, showing the rooms, the disposition of the rooms, and everything below ground there, and as a way to get into the system. And I believe that what they were doing there on the plateau, under the guise of water pumps, they were concreting the confluence, the tunnel confluence, so that they were safeguarding for the future. So there. You see the picture you got there now. See the mud brick? That down through the centre is mud brick construction on top of limestone. And yeah, that there's the mastabas looking down over the village on the eastern side of the Great Pyramid. And that there in front of you, that's black. That's mud brick on top of the limestone mastabas that were previously built there. So so it's pre-catastrophe because it goes back to pre-catastrophe. Whether or not it was repaired afterwards from damage, quite possible. But certainly the mud brick construction was done as a result of catastrophe.
Well, we've got colleagues that say that this is ancient. Look, ancient polymer. We're saying mud brick, but
no, it's a difference. There are two things there. What you see in the background, where I've got the yellow square around it, that's an illustration. That's a beautiful illustration on there. I've got that elsewhere. It's showing, the illustration is showing where I've enhanced it and worked on it. That along there is a fabulous illustration that I found. But down in front of it, closer to us, there's a strip of dark material, and that is prima facie mud brick. There in front of you now. That strip sort of to the right of the lower part, leading away, that is the mud brick that's been worn down from people walking on it or whatever.
Damn.
But the point is that that's built onto the limestone. You see, yeah, you can just about make it. You see there those illustrations?
No. And I'll be honest with you, no, I don't. I see something in there, but you've got the eye to see shit that I just don't see.
Yeah, I've got other pictures. Those aren't my final pictures on it. I've got pictures where I've enhanced it far more than that.
You and Sam both, man. You got her trained now to the point where you give her an image.
Yeah, give her that
and she'll know what to pull out of that shit. And it's amazing what you guys come up with.
Yeah, there's a whole scene on there. I mean, running along there, animals and people. The figures there on the right. There's a figure standing there. There, look at that. That isn't from Giza. That's from local. That's from the Paleolithic fissure, deep inside a fissure here. Paleolithic fissure.
Damn.
And that's from Giza. That's in one of the lower chambers within NC2.
Look at that orb.
There, that is a sarcophagus, part of a sarcophagus that was taken away by Hawas's team, rape team.
You call it his rape team. Damn.
Yeah, that was gone. That was gone.
That looks like an orb.
Yeah, it is a huge orb there that appeared. All the time I found loads of orbs. I wish I could pull up my picture.
Wow, look at all of those orbs.
That's the entrance leading down. That's the very point of leading down into the underground network.
That is at the back. That is the very back of NC2, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It is back of the reception chamber.
No, they don't. I'm not quite sure they know.
Well, get onto that. I want to be able to pull my pictures up so I can follow the story through now.
Pull them up. If you can pull them,
I got it on screen now. If you can load my.
I just stopped sharing my screen with you, but you should be able to absolutely go in there.
Yeah, well, I've got it
and
up
share
on
your screen. See, here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize. Again, all of these things are connected. Now, we've heard of the scans picking up these underground shafts and blah 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 blah. Right. Well, this man below me can tell you there are shafts under that pyramid there are shafts under the plateau that literally walking again, like I'm trying to say, you can walk down the deserts of the plateau, and you can feel the ground, okay, shake, and you're like, what the hell? You pull back the sand, and that's exactly what you got. You got a 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch plywood covering up these small little chambers, which again will lead you down into the corridor of a bigger tube tunnel or a bigger shaft. That's how these bastards are getting in here and getting these things. There you go.
Right.
All right, so I'll go over to Richard's screen here, and what do you got? Here you go. Yep, I got you on the screen here, buddy.
Can that be brought up full screen, or?
Yeah, I will hang tight, and I'll make it
good.
bigger. Whoops.
Yeah, that's what I need. And I can talk down through it then. I can talk down through these pictures then. There's not a lot, but
All right. So let me. All right, there we go.
you can bring it up big.
There you go, buddy. That's about as big as I can get without distorting shit.
Oh, it's only tiny.
No, it's not tiny. No. Oh, well, look at yours. Well, hang on a minute. There we go. Look, you got a big screen. It's on. Ta-da!
Oh, I see. Yeah, got it now.
All right. So
Okay,
we're looking at a blocked up NC2. It looks like.
Yeah, that is the entrance to NC2, as it is at the moment, blocked up.
Them bastards.
Yeah. That frontage there, by the way, that's at one time, it's weather worn now, but it had illustrations on it. Where are we going? Are you able to scroll down to the next picture?
No, you can.
Ew, can I? Okay. Here. Is that one coming up?
There you go. Yep.
Okay. So, okay, that's good. I'll talk it as I go. So what you're looking at there now is if you're standing at the entrance of NC2 and you're looking up to the old Harvard building. Actually, I've stayed in that many a time. Slept in there overnight or part of the night. But you see the hillside there. Now that hillside, that's built up. You can see it looks like, if you look at the closest part on the left-hand side of that picture, it looks like it's 2 levels. Well, it is 2 levels because the upper level is what's been built up since the construction was done on top with the restaurant. But there's another aspect to it, because if you look closely, you can see it doesn't look like natural flowing sand. And when you examine it close up, it looks like mud. It looks like sand that's been churned up with water. And I wonder whether or not, when they were digging out, whether they used water to amalgamate the ground to make it easier to dig out. That's the only thing I could speculate to think of. But I captured that, and I got closer pictures as well, because I couldn't easily explain it. It didn't look like stuff that had been poured off the back of a lorry, loose sand and ground. It's just another open question. Let's go to the next picture. That picture there is just one of the pictures from inside NC2. Part of that I used on the back of the book. But in this, you can see some orbs there. You can also see some Ogam script up above in the shape of a boat, filling the profile of a boat. But that's a separate story, because unfortunately Professor Kathanachalonu, she isn't with us any longer. She died under questionable circumstances, I have to say, but she was helping us. She was the world leading expert in Ogams and other script, an incredible authority on the subject, and she rubbed shoulders at diplomatic level across governments. She was a very prestigious lady, and she was helping us, and unfortunately she died. But I got the first report back from her, and that's something else to share again. I have shared it out before, but she translated a whole ton of information that validates everything I've been saying about the value that is vested in NC2. So if we go there now, You see that figure there? That's just one of the illustrations on the walls in there. I'm sure you see that one, Matthew.
A little bit, yeah,
A little bit.
yeah, a little bit. I'm looking.
I don't know how small you're looking at it.
No, it looks like a dog. It looks like a face, an
Yeah, it looks
animal.
like a dog. Yeah, with a diamond on its head for some
Right.
reason. You can see
Let
it.
me see if I can't make this bigger for everybody too. Hey, leave that picture there.
Hmm.
There we go. There we go. So again, this is an illustration.
But here's the twist, Matthew.
Okay.
And I'll grant that you're looking at a small picture, and so is everybody else. If you
No,
look,
I've got it as big as I can get it, which
okay, but
almost distorted.
if you were able to examine it and even enlarge it further on full screen, you would then you I would point you to the fact that that here, in fact, there's one, two, even with my eyes here, one, two, three, four. There's five dogs there, superimposed on each other.
5?
Yeah, dog's head. The top part of the dog, the head mainly. In the dark on the left, the paw, what appears to be a paw, that is actually a dog's head. If you look, you'll see two little white spots, the eyes of the dog, on the left.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And the main dog head with the diamond, if you go to the right hand eye of that large dog head,
Mm-hmm.
um, then check out the line that's intercepting that is bordering what appears to be a diamond or triangle. The right hand eye, that is a dog's head. The left hand eye of the dog's head. It's one looking over the top. They use this technique time and again, the artists, where it looks like a single dog, but they create
There's.
fractal images.
Oh yeah. Okay. Holy shit.
Okay, and the same is true further down. You can go into this and find more.
There's
Right, I'm
other
scrolling down.
dogs inside of that dog image.
Right, yeah, that's right. And here there's fractal images here. On this one, look at this weird character.
Let me get this. Hang on. I've got my screen out of whack here. Okay.
Hmm.
What the hell are we looking at?
Yeah, exactly. What are we looking at?
I don't know.
So you got this character with the mouth gaping open. Then down below that character, you can just see the eye, and then you'll pick out the nose and the mouth of another head below him. And then to the right, the dark area, that's two canine features superimposed on each other. I don't know what the square thing is coming away from them. And then in the right-hand corner, there's another dog looking horizontally. It's just
Richard, how do you think that? Because this is not paint. This
No.
could not have been paint. How
No.
in the hell did they superimpose? Now Sam says that they burnt the image into the stone.
Yeah, like laser or something like that. I mean, there's some process taking place where, I mean, in this case, you can see that image there, that's part carved. That isn't just things, that is actually
Yeah.
raised from the surface, okay? But
Uh-huh.
there's tons and tons of images, predominantly, that are on the surface, that just follow the surface. And they, I can only speculate. It's a process that it's been lost to time. But they were able to somehow imprint these images to the surface. We go to oh no, that's going to NC2 now.
Peggy Bardowski just asked something probably a long time ago. I'm not paying attention to the chat. I probably should.
You see, there's a crown on this figure as well. It looks like a crown, doesn't it? Of some kind. If you look to the right of his head, where his eye is, you scroll down fraction. There's another head that I can make out quite clearly to the right.
Wow. See, I can't. You can see things that
Yeah, well,
I
I've been
don't
doing it,
see.
Matthew, for 15 years now since started. But right, if we go down now, rattling through, right, I need to tell you a couple of things now. What you're looking at there, that is my model out of clay, model rendering in perfect form of what I call the reception chamber. When you go into NC2, go down to the end. It's 3 levels when you go in, but you go down to the end on the middle level, and you can step up then and then go right, and it takes you into the rough cut tombs, not tombs, chambers that leads then down into the deep system. And this is the first one, what I call the reception chamber. And it's a very clean version, obviously. If you look at the back of that, that is the way you would normally come in. On the right hand side, that opening in the right hand side at the back. On the left hand side, that is like a little fissure, a split in the brickwork, in the rock. Now, what you've got here, I've got to describe this. 2 levels, the top level, the front, which is shown at the back here, and the lower level. They're pretty rough because it's bedrock.
Right.
And the bedrock drops from the top to the bottom with about a 2 foot drop. It's not as clean and pristine as it is here, never was from the first time I went in. I'm just depicting it that way. Now, in there, in its original form, as it dropped down in the center, there's a chair. It's a throne, and it's hewn from the rock, cut from the rock. Okay. And it's got a seat there, like a pillow seat made out of rock. And on the right, the left, and behind it, there's rebates cut like slots. The arms either side are carved, and the rock alongside either side is all carved as well with figures. Now, at the back of this throne, the channels that run down to those slots either side and at the back, the channels go up to shoulder height at the back of this chair. When I go to the next picture, you'll see what I'm on about. I'll just say to you that there above it, the rock is cut into trestles, straight to the bedrock either side, and it's got this, what I call it, like a throne slab, an altar slab on it. Now that altar slab actually all around it and on top of it and underneath it, illustrated again, illustrated with snakes and all kinds of things and birds around the outside of it. It's quite thick. But when I came into this chamber first time, that had been broken into a couple of pieces. Okay. So I'm going to show you now. Here we go. That shows you with the altar slab taken off. Now you can see the chair a little bit better now. You've got the seat and you've got the slots either side and around it. And then up above there, underneath the altar, the bedrock has been carved into a bowl, a very large bowl. So any liquid in that bowl, overspill, would go down these slots either side, run around the outside of the cushion, around the right and left hand side of somebody sitting there, and run down to the floor. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So bear that in mind. Then you've got the altar slab on top. Okay. Now my immediate thought is what you do is you go to the dark side. This sacrifice, some kind of
right.
But to the left-hand side of this, if I go back to here, the wall on the left-hand side of this, I started to examine that. It's a huge 30-foot long wall by 8, nearly 10 foot at the highest point here. And I realized that wall, as deteriorated as it is, it actually sports a phenomenal illustration of boats and celebration, and it's just incredible. And then I realized, penny dropped, this place is not about sacrifice. This is celebrationary.
Now, mind you,
like a preparation place, a cleansing preparation place, because if I go back here, down in the right-hand corner, that is where the entrance is to go down into the deep underground. So anybody coming into this place would be involved in some kind of ceremony of cleansing and preparation, I believe. And then they would enter down and go down into the depths, down into the deep underground where their home would be. So the reason I'm showing this in this form is because the next picture I'm going to show you is the picture. Yes, it is. It's the picture to show you as an example, one example of what the authorities have done. They realize the importance of this as well. Now, the picture that I'm going to show you would have been taken from behind where this altar stone is, standing somewhere back towards the wall. Bear in mind, all these walls had illustrations on them, right? So the photograph I've got to show you is from a film Trevor took when he was in here. I stole a frame from the film he showed, and it's showing it's a photograph taken down towards the center, towards the middle of that slab, and where the chair is, and where the bowl is underneath. Right, here we go. I'm going to show it to you now. Now you see some of the damage that they've done. They've dug a huge channel down through the center. They've ripped the bowl to pieces, which is underneath that. They smashed the slab, what was left there, and the trestles. You can see the damage either side. They've completely, basically obliterated that entire scene.
Oh my God. Wow. Now I understand what you meant by raped. They raped it.
They've destroyed it. It's like,
wow.
like they've got explosives almost. But look at the chat. They've ripped that out to obliterate its purpose. Anybody coming in there now wouldn't have a clue what it looked like before.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So that's just one example. Now you can multiply that all the way down through, and I would need to get back in there to get duplicate photographs of all the areas that I know so well.
I gotta pause you for a second. Let me read some of these comments, okay? Going back through here for a second, and Benny said something about he's seen the dog very clearly in that one depiction. Hackers talking about like high heat imagery, like literally possibly burning the shit. I'm gonna assume into the rock.
I mean, some of the pictures are less crude. Some of them, I got to say, are photogenic.
Right.
Really photogenic. They're like photographs laid to the wall.
See, there you go. And okay. Immediately, all right, hacker's mind went to what we were talking about, or thought about at the beginning, like a sacrificial chair, and that's obviously not what it was for. But that's Joe. That's where our mind went. That's exactly where our mind went as well.
Incidentally, Matthew, relevant. This is relevant because it might bring back anybody that's written something. Guys out there, can you just listen to this a minute? Because you might want to add something. I'm going to go back a moment to here. If a person was sitting in that chair, whatever was happening and whatever liquid was swilling down through, it went to the floor. I could see no evidence on the floor, even though that floor has been broken up.
All right.
Maybe something I've missed, but I could see no evidence of any liquid that would be going down through, of it being collected, channeled, going somewhere, okay? So bear that in mind. Right. Now, below the level of this chamber, there is a base chamber down below, or there are chambers down below. And the dead center of this chamber with the throne hits dead center at the end of the corridor down below, the corridor that leads to the chambers down below. Now, if you're standing up near the entrance on the lower level, the corridor veers off to the right. It's like a bent corridor. Now, at the end of that corridor, just like on the ground floor level, at the end of it, there's a step up to a blank wall. And you've got chambers off to the right and off to the left, yes. But I'm concentrating now on the corridor. It goes off
Right.
from a bend, and I'm asking me straight away question: why is this one bent like this? Because they could still have dug the chambers out without it being bent. This is odd. There's a reason. So I'm taking photographs, okay? And when I got back eventually and developed those pictures and did some analysis on them, I found, hey presto, at the end of that corridor, there was an effect that I found that the ancients used. God only knows how, but they did. And it was, you take the photograph, you're almost in pitch darkness. When you develop the photograph, you find that the picture it gives you, it's like one of those computer magic pictures, because you're not looking at a flat picture, you're actually looking at a three-dimensional effect. And I found that the photograph at the end of that corridor gave a 3D effect, as if the corridor continued on. It didn't, but it looked like it did. But then, when I went in there to NC2 on another occasion to do measurement, I took measurements of everything so I could do a scaled model and rendering representation of the entrance system, the 3 levels. And when I did all the measurements and everything, I made a discovery. Now we go back to the screen. You've got that up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Where that throne is, any liquid penetrating down through the floor there would land below, straight at the point where the corridor ends and disappears. And I thought, isn't this interesting? This can't be by accident, because that liquid is going down into the corridor. That corridor goes off in the picture, in the three-dimensional picture. It looks like the corridor is continuing in the direction that the actual corridor continues from this chamber that you're looking at the picture now, from the right-hand lower corner. That is
So we're talking an illusion. This is a photographic burnt-in illusion on rock.
Yes.
The question came up: what was the floor of this? What is the floor of NC2? And I'm trying to explain that this is a rough cut bedrock chamber.
Yeah.
This is not a final. This is not a finished piece. This is, and what you're saying makes total sense, because our ancestors used the choreography of a rock, right? To like if they see a rock protruding out of another rock, they would utilize that protrusion as part of the art.
Yeah, but in this case,
wow.
Matthew, this case it was symbolic, don't you see?
Sure.
Anybody that was going through a cleansing to do with the altar and the chair and whatever,
right,
liquid, that liquid was running down to where symbolically below the chamber went and stopped, but the illusion was of it continuing down into the plateau, which in fact it did from this chamber at a higher level. The start of where you saw those orbs earlier, where that's the actual entrance that's going down, mirroring the corridor that stops at the bottom, but looks as though it's going on. So up above, it does go on. The two are inseparable. You see?
Some question. Did Hawastan, the authority, the initial, from what I understand, the initial closing of this, I don't even want to say tomb. This is not a tomb. The initial closing of this chamber was specifically targeted the safety of you, the safety of all of the archaeologists. They deemed this as not safe.
It's bullshit. It wasn't. It was to stop people finding out and getting to the truth of it all and what it really represents.
Well, you're going to talk before we leave. You're going to go through this chamber. We're at an hour and 39 minutes out of a 2-hour broadcast, but I want you to walk these people again, continuing to do what we're doing, but letting them know that there are corridors there with pottery in them.
Yes.
I'm talking like absolutely filled from the foundation of bedrock to the top of the corridor.
Gourds.
Literally, yes, like literally blocking off the entirety of the chamber.
Yes, they're full. Yeah, the one.
I
to
mean,
the
this
right,
is the shit that you don't hear about.
Yeah, that's right. What I would suggest is, Matthew, and I'd love to do this because it would easily pay for itself, if I put it that way. I would love to concentrate on an NC2 proper presentation to put on record all the stuff that I haven't told anybody about it. I got a ton that I can tell people about it.
I know you do.
And I'd love to do that if I could. Yeah, because the story ain't finished yet.
But we'll again I'll work with you, and we'll do what we'll do with what we need to do.
The final
know what I
word.
mean?
Because I've got enough material now that I've got from other people going in part of the way and so on, and the stuff that I've got. As I say, I've got stuff from years and years ago that now is the only record of what it was.
Well, it's the only record because Hawass and his fucking minions have literally they like we just showed, they've now got this chamber sealed off. It is now sealed off. So unless
the whole system sealed.
Oh man.
Yeah. So listen, I'm going to switch it. So I'm going to put that on reserve, guys.
Yeah.
Out there, don't be despondent. I've put tons on my Facebook page, but I'll do a special on this. It deserves it. There's so much.
It absolutely does.
I barely scratched the surface of what I can tell you. I know where there's hidden things down there. I know where they've missed things. Where because they just don't. They haven't got the mentality to realise that there's pointers, and the way that some of the illustrations are, they actually tell you, go there, look there. They dug huge holes in the ground there, and one in particular, they missed something by probably 12 inches.
Right, right. No, you're right.
I swear to God.
I got to somehow. If you're done sharing your screen, I don't know if you are or not.
No. I've moved now.
Oh, okay.
I've moved now. This is the ancient village that's been flattened, gone, finished. But you can see on.
So did they finally doze it?
Yeah, that's all gone. That's all.
So where did the because this is the original village.
Yeah, can you read what I put on there?
This was the ancient village of what?
Nazlet El Saman, yes.
Yes. So here's the thing that people don't realize. There's chamber accessibility right there in front of your face.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you can speak for Bill Brown, but you can definitely talk about if you would.
Yeah, I mean, what I can tell you is, look, I mean, there's no secret. We have got. I can be open to say that we've got information at our fingertips, not just second-hand, third-hand, first-hand information. Look at me straight in my eyeballs and tell me I'm lying. We know of shafts and tunnels. We know up to a point what they lead to. We know of a temple complex below ground, a royal mortuary temple complex underground. We believe that we've got the lead on authoritative people. We've been trying for so damn long to put something together at our cost, or our sponsors' cost, in order, because we're all of the same mind. We want to uncover the truth of it, not
that's right.
No nefarious motivation at all. Stumping up the money and getting on with it. But there's this mentality of centuries, this stranglehold. You will not do anything until we decide that we've got it in the bag already. And we're trying. I've got to be careful because we're still actively trying currently.
Oh, sure.
And you know, we're trying to go further than what we know of already, in order to, even if it's shared, to lift the lid on knowledge. There you go. It's the simplest I could put it. To lift the lid on assumed ancient advanced knowledge. And there you've got there, look, the stable there, deep organized safari. When I say safari, that's where our friends were murdered. They were murdered by explosives underground, right next to where we're staying.
Right next to where I guarantee you Nefertiti come out of the ground. I'm just saying.
I've got a picture to show you at the end of this, and I'll probably comment
we
on it.
Haven't even discussed that, and I mean we covered that before on this program. Where
there it is. Look.
What is it?
To the left.
Oh, dozed. Yep, it's dozed. It's gone. It's gone.
That's what.
No, it did that shit on purpose, and you know it, and I know it.
Yeah.
That's the same way as why did they? You know what? They did not need Aswan Dam. They didn't. They did not need Aswan Dam.
Nah.
Okay, the Nile was doing absolutely perfect what it was doing. They claimed that it was because of growth, which you and I both know is bullshit. Again, now we have a ton of shit that is buried under billions and billions of gallons of Nile water.
That's right. Now these few pictures I'm pulling up now. I think on any other day than a People's Day, when there was no one there working, I probably would still be in jail now.
Wow.
Because if you look there in the mid-distance, you can see the ground excavated considerably.
Benny Trent says the truth is so hard to find. You keep pushing through, Richard.
Yep. Can you see in the middle there, Matthew? Can you see like a tin roof there? Right in the middle. Middle.
Let me make this bigger. Yeah, we see it.
Yeah, well, that there is like a corrugated roof over the top of a bloody great big shaft that goes down through from that center area, and there's a couple of other shafts there. But that huge excavation all the way around. This is the one that was done in collaboration, Japanese, Egyptian, and all that soil was taken and just made to disappear. I think a lot of that went over to where I showed you by NC2. I understand also Trevor was saying that he saw that a lot of that soil had gone into mastabas. They'd filled up mastabas. There you see the mastaba to the right.
For what? For what? No accessibility?
That's right, yeah, to stop any further accessibility. That's the assumption.
Wow.
So, okay then. Now look here. I don't know whether your eyes will allow you to orientate properly here. Maybe not.
Well, I gotta make it. I got my screen. I got my screen 100. Damn.
Go to the left-hand side, Matthew. Left-hand side, lower quarter, and focus there. You see how the bedrock there is different from the bedrock that's adjoining, just above it. The bit in the middle is all raked. It's like it's rough rakings, but it's smooth.
Yeah. We see it.
And right down below it also is smooth, right? Now, now that's where I was trying to explain to Samantha how it's separated out with these leaves. You know, the cleaning of that at that depth must have been a hell of an operation. If I go to the next one, you can see a little bit more of it there. We're looking down into the pit there that was excavated. You see, look, there's a column there, and also this peculiar bedrock here. And as Sam said, it's more to do with changing the resonance of the ground resonance by uncovering all that. There's that middle bit I was telling you about closer. You see how the roof's been put over it, and to the right of that is a huge shaft that's covered with a grill. Oh no, it's another story there. So what I'm saying is, this is where the Japanese and the Egyptians were working. and like there was a huge exclusion zone around it. You couldn't get near it or be booted off by the police. But I happened to be there when it was a people's day and there was nobody working. It was early as well. So I had free run. I went round photographing, examining, and so on. The shaft in the middle there goes down. I couldn't tell how deep it went. I just couldn't. My light wouldn't take me down to it. The grill on the top there wasn't a thrown together thing. That was well manufactured, like the roof that's over it. So that gives an idea of the value of it.
Wow, right.
Also, there's a peculiarity of the ground around that being excavated down to such a depth, and all the tailings taken away, clean, 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 clean. And Samantha gave me the idea, that the, the effect that would have on the ground would alter any resonance in the ground. Well, at the same time, remember, it went back and we tied it. So my visit that I made up into the King's Chamber this time. It's been a long time since I've been up there, and I just went and I was bitterly disappointed again because they'd put light pelmets around the floor, which shone light up the wall and killed any distinguishing illustrations that I knew were on the walls. You couldn't see them for love nor money. And also, I tried to trigger the resonance in the chamber, and for the first time, this time it was dead. It was completely muffled, dead.
I don't get why they do the shit they do. I'm serious.
Well, seriously, what it is, I mean, knowing is knowing. It's because they're altering the frequency of the plateau. If you take it, if you make a paradigm jump in your understanding. As I say, I can't transfer my convictions onto somebody else, but I'm asking
No,
you
of course
to
not.
consider what I'm saying. If you make that paradigm jump in thought and think that this whole plateau with the pyramids in conjunction with the great white pyramid of China and the thousands of other pyramids, many much bigger than the Great Pyramid, all over the world, and as we found on other planets now, on the moon and Mars, that we know that they're there now. And if you just for one moment start considering in terms or in thoughts of advanced ancestors whose modus operandi wasn't nuclear power, it was the control and disposition of telluric energy, of energy from the sun, of using crystals for splitting of energy, the manipulation of this using menhirs and stone, and we're able to manipulate its energetic properties in a more advanced way than we have a clue about now. And when you ask me, what could they be doing this for? Well, if you make that quantum leap in that direction, just to consider it for a moment, it's a bit of lateral thinking, even if you think it's all poppycock, just for a moment, consider it, then it would fit together. Because by them doing this with the ground, where they know there is a line of influence in the ground, and bearing in mind that I was able to prove the point to myself that I needed to, that this Japanese Egyptian collaboration was dead in line with the pyramids, the Great Pyramid, and the SARS tunnels that were identified by the SARS. So there was a connection, and I thought myself immediately when I stood there and lined everything up. It lined the other side with NC2 entrance, by the way. But when I lined it all up, I thought, yeah, that's good enough for me. I said, there's a line up here. I could feel it, the energy. I said, there's something that they've penetrated into the system.
You felt it, right?
Huh?
You felt it. You felt the breach.
Absolutely felt it, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the difference.
I mean, immediately, and she said, well, this is to do with frequencies. I said, by uncovering the ground and laying it bare, and the strange way that the bedrock has been configured, this is to do with like putting a damper on the. It's like a tuning fork where you don't let it ring, you grab a hold of it so that it isn't ringing. In this case, by uncovering, they've actually altered frequencies on, and it's true. The King's Chamber, for the first time ever, there was no fallback at all. Nothing. It was dead.
Now you want to tell everybody what Sam said about this. I won't say it.
Well, it's to do with the frequency. If you imagine, it's like Oh, how could we use an analogy to describe this?
She called it a dampener, wasn't it?
It's
It
a
was
damper.
dampening.
Yes, it's a damper. It's like putting a damper on the frequencies. In other words, it's suppressing the function of the frequencies that were designed into the system.
Now they're doing this. Listen clearly. They're doing this stuff on purpose.
Yes, they're depleting the system on purpose. They're they're degrading it, devaluing it, because the energy itself affects people in a positive way. The whole system
Hmm.
is designed to affect people en masse in a good, positive way. But what they do is they're degrading it just the same as NC2, I believe, because by doing so, they're depressing people's attention and minds on it. Now they're steering people to think in terms of the Giza Plateau as bloody Disneyland. The only thing that'll be missing is Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck.
Right.
You get into an electric car, you go to where they put you, you'll take photographs where they tell you you can. It's like in the King's Chamber. Let me tell you this. I was determined I thought I must mention this, right? So, okay, then they want the money from the people to go up into the King's Chamber, and it's not cheap, now. So you go up there, and as I say, it's a good few years since I was up there last, and I was able to set the chamber off back then, and that's a story on its own. But this time, so I'm there with the people, and there's thousands, and your crocodile chain going up there, and people coming down, and so on. Wonderful. Get up into the chamber, and there's, as always, they always have a guard or a minder, somebody up there, official. So there's this trollop up there, looked like he'd just come off a building site, and he's there in the middle, and he is harassing almost everybody that comes in. He's harassing, and on the basis that you can't take a photograph with a camera. No, 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 no. He'd jump. Oh, no, you're out. No, 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 no. But you can take one with a cell phone. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. We've got the cell phones there, but you can't take it with a flash. Oh, really?
Why? Wait.
Oh,
Why?
oh,
Why?
oh, oh.
Why?
No, no. Against the rules, you can't take it with a flash, and you're out if you do. But not just me, other people there having a go. So it turns into an argument, and it was. They're arguing. No flash with a cell phone. All you get is a black bloody picture, you trollop.
Well, yeah.
You get so everybody's going out of there fuming, literally fuming, and complaining about the experience being ruined because of this bloody trollop there, who's sending people off with no pictures in there at all of the coffer or anything except black ones. Well, I and a few others in there were prepared to take him on and were defiant. So I told him to fuck off, and I took pictures like I take pictures, and others were the same. But I thought, there you go. He's been instructed. He's been told. It's all to degrade, to pull it back from people. You'll go where we put you. You'll only see what we want you to see. You'll take your pictures where we want you to take your pictures. You'll give us your money, and you'll go away and say, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. That's what it's all about. And in the meantime, while everybody is now busy doing their thing, they will find their way into the system like they're doing at the moment through the Japanese dig and other ways. They'll find their way into the system to try and take apart and understand the technology and everything that's down there waiting. That's my conviction.
Speaking of which, I've got to bring you back here maybe next month, okay? And I want to talk about just this because we're all literally. I could talk to you for another 2 hours about this shit.
Keep going.
But I can't. No, I can't.
I know.
We are already like there. But I wanted to talk to you about what we're talking about now, and that is the technology, the frequency that is shrouding these things from eyes that pretty much don't need to see them. Okay, Barbara Butchers in the chat talked about this is disgusting to see. Then she's right. I mean, this shit. What they're doing is they're raping and pillaging the system. They don't. This does not belong to them, the government authority. This is humanity's these are things that have been left to us as a people, especially the Egyptian people.
Yeah, that's right.
This is their homage. This is
Matthew. You've hit something there, and I'm sorry to leap at you over it, but I've in discussions, it brings tears to my eyes in discussion talking about it. And I think of myself. I'm so close to so many of the ordinary Egyptians over there, ordinary families over there. They're wonderful people. They'd give their lives for you, and this is denying them. They've been suppressed. They've been in poverty. They've been forced to live the life that they live. They don't enjoy it. Their life depends on touting tourists. Well, it's one thing to live off tourism, but it's another thing to be forced to tout for them and still live as they do. Look what's happening up at the back end of the village. I haven't even got on to talking about that.
No, there is so much we have not discussed.
Oh my God, yeah, you should not have kidding. And the conditions they're made, and even tourists are pulled through it. And I saw tourists holding their nose, and the traps and the camels and the horses going up around the back there. When I went round the back of the Solar Cross there to the police station, I ended up helping them with some food for the dog problem that they got. Well, it's not a problem. They're looking after dogs. They're fine. They're okay, good people. But around there where the shortcut is taken by the horses and everything, the traps, with tourists, and they're all looking the other way. Why? Because now that's the dumping ground for the stables. And it's 6, 8, 10 foot high with rotting vegetation and straw and everything. And in amongst it, that's where they're dumping all the animals now that are dying. And there's dead animals lying everywhere.
That's the thing too. I can't. Let's do this. Let's go for another half an hour because there's some shit that we've got. These people have got to see.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm serious. There are things. You've got images that I got that I can share, and they absolutely need to see. They see the good things that Billy Carson puts out, and they see all of the good things that come out of the plateau. All right, they don't see the horrific. They don't see the injustice or the horrifics. Yeah. They just don't. But the shit's real, and this happens to literally day in, day out.
Yeah, it is. It's a normal day thing. Let
me share. Let me. Don't get mad at me but I'm gonna share these photos. I'm gonna share these photos. I think they need to be shown. So I'm gonna share them.
Yeah, sure. I'd stop. Look at that horse there.
That's only one. That is only one specific little incident.
Yeah, that's right where we stayed.
Let's go. Let's go here. We're going here. You can stop sharing your screen so I get your picture down below me.
Yeah.
Good. Smash your. Stop sharing your screen for a second.
Okay, let me just find.
Yeah.
Killed my screen.
No.
I think. One moment. Let me find where to do it.
Bottom left.
Bottom left.
Yeah, it's got a little X on it. So at the very opposite end of in call.
Got it.
There you go. So what the hell is this? And well, I know what it is, but
what it is, I mean,
where is this?
Only a few yards from the house where we stayed in the village. And when they knocked the village down, they took no trouble at all to safeguard the well, or the drainage that was there. I remember when I walked past, there were 2 horses tethered to the wall while the owner went off somewhere. Well, he must have left them there tethered overnight, and one of the horses must have got a bit loose, spooked, and backed into the hole, into the drain, and it must have spent the night there trying to fight its way out until it died. And
Son of a bitch.
Just left there.
Okay, so this was an accident, right? Must have been an accident.
Well, it's an accident, but it was willful because the guy should have known bloody better.
Sure.
And the authorities should have known to cover it.
That's true too. So I'm going to walk them through. no, again, this is off of the beaten path. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's
Do you?
important.
I want you to see the fucking trash. Do you see the trash? This is the way it is off of the beaten path, where tourists do not technically go.
Yeah.
This is the way it looks.
Mm-hmm.
This is the homeland of the Egyptian people. Are you kidding me? No, and again, hang tight because I'm gonna go even further and blow your mind even worse.
Yeah, you need to
Because-
get to the one that shows the back end of the village.
I will. I'm working on it.
That's all those there.
There we go. Okay, so this is
Oh, there you are. Yeah, that's,
All right,
that's what I'm talking about.
all right. So this is the back half. No, I
So
like
the
I
plus end of the village.
like I'm talking like I know but I do know. It's sad, but I know where this is.
Yeah.
Richard, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, sure. Well, I wanted to go take a walk on the one day. I wanted to check out the back end of the village. I was familiar with it in the past because we used to go around the back end there, and the fence until they built it all up was damaged, broken, and it was a way. I'm going to say it carefully. It was a potential way into the plateau if you wished to visit and go down into the depths of the Solar Cross. So I just wanted to check it out. So, and the police station was there along the road there as well. And there's a dog there eating from the garbage.
I'm just showing the fucking trash.
Yeah.
This is off the beaten path. Okay.
Yeah, it's where tourists are taken around in traps and horses and so on to see, they go past it. Unbelievably shortcut this way and they're taken past it.
Unbelievable.
I was on foot. But
the money that goes through this place via tourism, and they do this. This is sick.
keep showing, Matthew. Click.
I'm getting it.
Yeah, no, another part of an animal. Yeah,
Damn.
the animals, the loose animals are all. Look at the height there. They're all starving,
Wow.
Yeah, see, it's thousands of tons, I would say there, right up the height of the wall there, all the way through. But then I found on the back of one of those is an illustration. I thought, what?
What?
Another poor
Man, son of a bitch. This burns my ass, dude.
Yeah.
You know what? Because I want to point something out because I see it, so I'm going to make somebody else see it. Look at that horse. Do you see this horse's eye? Can you see that?
Yeah,
Do you see what it is?
yeah.
That's a tear. That's what you can see clearly see the horse's eye is watering, like watering tear, whatnot.
You'll see others that are as bad, if not worse.
Son of a bitch, dude.
Click to the next. Yeah, see one. I think that's the horse there that had a bullet hole.
God damn.
And there's the dogs and they're all trying to get.
Yeah, sure be it, dude. Bullet hole in his head. See, again, this is the not so pretty. Welcome to Egypt.
Yeah, at the back of the plateau. It used to be
Yeah.
that was inside the wall that they piled all that up, but now they've locked that off, and now it's outside the wall. You come up through there. I just caught it in between dozens of horses and carts and all sorts coming around there.
You know what they need to do? They need to find out whose horse that was. You know what?
But it's nothing. It's
How can you, right?
nothing to him.
No.
Yeah, that one had a bullet.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, horrible. And then you'll see further on where dogs. I mean, there was a dog fight took place there on the left-hand side, and they're all just fighting for survival. There's dogs in there. If you look closely, you can actually see there's several dogs in amongst the rubbish.
See, this is the thing. The Egyptian authorities should take care of this.
Yeah,
They should absolutely take care of this.
yeah, they should. The dogs there.
Poor camels. God damn does this
Yeah,
make me mad.
laying down in the mess. So look at all them dogs there now. Yeah, every which way you look, there was dogs. Yeah,
Now you yourself took it upon yourself to start an Egyptian animal rescue type thing.
yeah. We had well the Giza Foundation. I mean,
That's it.
in brief, the oh, hang on, there was something there I wanted to show. You see what I mean? That's example. That's just one group that came through. I won't lose track of what you just said. I'll come back to it. But that's one group
That
that was coming through. I want to see if you get to the picture I picked off the wall at the back. Um, not there. No, keep going. I just kept clicking away. That's where they were fighting, coming to fight. There. Now, now I know it's messy, but can you see that there's colour been daubed on the back wall there? Some form of illustration or something was created. Can you see the figurine? You may not be able to make it out.
you get bigger with this image.
You know, it's almost like a Banksy, but you know that I don't. I took that as not being artificial. That's you know slap bang in the middle like a pick out face as the eyes and
Bro, that's I don't know. That's like I myself don't see that. Do you? You might. I don't see a thing.
yeah. Yeah, but it was just interesting. I thought, yeah, I wonder with all the muck, I wonder if the locals there were somebody there was trying to brighten the place up with some illustrations or whatever, you know. And oh, now you're off now. Back to the other stuff. Yeah, I was going to say about the Giza Foundation, Matthew. Yeah, I registered the Giza Foundation in the UK, and
Right.
I was literally with a lawyer, uh, almost at the last signing stage for it to be incorporated in Egypt as well. We'd integrated ourselves also with some influential people there. Now there's a gun club there in Egypt, would you believe, in Cairo, and they act a little bit like the Masons or whatever. Every year they have a benefit where they raise tons and tons of money, which they vote to um, help local charities of one kind or another, just to show their benevolence. Anyway, we had got ourselves accepted onto the list for that year to benefit from. We were led to expect it was going to amount to um, many thousands of pounds equivalent um, to put towards our plans to help the animals. Now, Marianne, one of the ladies there that's been there for years, got a farm. She's well set up, but we got hold of people on another site just outside Cairo, on the way to Skara, um, who had a plot of land with greenery and there was dates there and things, and they were game. They were going to come in with us to actually build a little farm there for animal rescue, and we were going to support ESAF, the Egyptian Society for Animal Friends, um, as we had been doing. Now we'd already put a hell of a lot of our own private money over there. You know, we'd been out to places and we'd helped out here, helped out there, as much as we could. And I'd advertised on the site, and we got quite a bit of donations in, which was lovely. And those donations actually went out. We receipted them, and they went out while we were trying to get everything motivated to a bigger level, the next stage. I'd registered, I hadn't got business premises in the UK, so I used a premise called, would you, of all names, Pip It Up, they were called, in Paynton, an organization who were like a business address, a place where if people wanted a small business but didn't have premises to use, you would use them and they would do your accounting and all the rest of it for you. Uh,
Service.
yeah, service, that's right, business, small business service, which was great and seemed to be working fine. And we were all cockeyed because it was all going in the two, three, four trips that it took backwards and forwards. Each time we brought enough funds to pay for the lawyer and get it all set up and everything. And I was advertising on the site with PayPal and so on. Um, and we were enjoying it all too soon. So it was all going brilliant. At the time, we were in a bit of a dispute with the brook because they were they were denying, they weren't being as charitable as they ought to have been. And another plan that we had in mind was we'd already found out that the source of a lot of trouble over there was the children. They'd lost the symbiotic relationship with animals. They didn't understand. And everybody that we talked to agreed, this needed to be taught in the schools. And we'd already made our inroads for that to all happen. With literature and all sorts, we were starting to pull it together. And one other thing that we were going to do was that over there had a huge shortage of farriers for the donkeys and the horses to do free treatments for them through the organizations. So we figured a way. We thought we'd appeal to the public who are coming here on holiday for each one of them to bring a tool, one tool with them to do with farrier work, a file or pincers or something like that. So that was our big next plan. Anyway, I'm telling you all this to show how far it got. Can you imagine how we felt when I got home from the one trip with Judith and we were contacted by the police? The premises where the Pip It Up business, the place had been raided. It was closed. Now, the business had been run by two partners. One of the partners embezzled, stripped all the money out of the place, and did a bloody runner. We believe our last information was to Australia.
What?
Yeah, we
Took the funds and bailed?
The net result of it was, and the police told us this. They said that there were dozens of small businesses like us. I should expect anyway. Dozens of small businesses who had been registered with them, who were now facing. And what happened was, the VAT, the tax office, they wouldn't have none of it. They wanted their money. Regardless, they wouldn't give any concession. We couldn't get shit all from anybody, and not just us. All the other, it was a scandal at the time. All the other businesses were saying it bust us. I remember it took me down to I had nothing in the bank whatsoever. The money I was paying back, they gave some sort of concession for us to do it over a period of time. But instead of having money now to spend on what we were there for, I was paying the tax man back.
Of course.
And
Right, of
and
course.
it took a good long while to pay this money back. And it bust us. I mean, it ripped my heart out. And Judith as
course.
well. It just broke us because we had everything going for us, and then suddenly it was just snatched from us. And we said after that, we said, okay, well, we won't stop trying to help with the animals. It'll always be a thing we wish to do. But from now on, it'll just be one-to-one as we're able. If we get donations or we can raise anything or any chance that we get, we'll take it and try to help them. And that's the story of it. It's sad. And yeah, and I would say to anybody, there are ways that people generally who visit Egypt can help. And it goes along the same teaching vein that we adopted then, and that's to explain to people, when you take an animal, a horse or a camel or anything, anytime you're encountering animals over there, don't be afraid to intervene. Don't be afraid to inspect your animal, to see whether it's got whiplashes on it, to see whether it's so thin and the bone underneath. We got the Don of the village to intervene in one case with 3 horses, where they were down to the bone. Their skin and flesh was gone on their backs, underneath their saddles.
Yes,
And we
I've heard
caught them
this.
because we were staying right beside where that stable was. I went ballistic. I went Judith as well. We went utterly ballistic, and
Now,
we got the Don, the boss of that area of village. We got him to come and the guy was threatened that he would have his bloody fingers and head chopped off, and
Exactly.
he was
That's what.
made to go and deal with it there, and he did. He got the brook. In fair news, the brook. They came and they those horses recovered. To
Good.
but I'm saying now to tourists, put the message: if you see something, you can intervene because it's against the law. If you push it, if you say I'm calling the police, or ask your hotelier, or ask somebody there, and they will action on it if they think the police. It's because they get away with it. It's because tourists let them get away with it. They'll if they're told to sit on this horse, sit here, go, no, 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 you just go, sit. No,
Yeah.
you got to say no. You've got to be as forceful as they are. If you've got a bad one and you've got to say no, it's got whiplash all over it. I go to the police for you, and they'll soon change the tune. Say, you rest this animal. This animal, take the saddle off, make it rest. I go to the police. I'll check with you tomorrow. If you're as forceful as that, you could save an animal's life or stop
I
injury.
completely agree with you.
Those are just examples. And I say to people, it's like with the police. When I went around to that police station, talking to the police chief in there, and the guy I was talking to, I'd been talking to prior to that. He tried to call him a bluff. You don't know the police here, and I said, yeah, I do. Yeah, no, I know. And he called him a bluff, and he wanted money off me as well. He was obviously a bit of a Jack the Lad of that corner of the village. So I said, "Come with me." I thought, "Sod you." So I insisted he come with me. Come on, I introduce you. You got to be bullshit like that. And I went over and of course, the policeman that came to me, and then another. They wanted to know what I wanted. I said, "No, I speak to the chief. I want to speak to the chief." No, no, you tell me to. I said, "I speak to the chief. I am a tourist, and I blah blah blah. Yeah, bullshit. And
Right.
and I walked past. I kept went in through the barrier, and I walked past him. Are you going to stop me? I'm speaking to your chief. He's my friend. And you say that, they back the hell off. Anyway, he came out, and then it was all friendly. And he was chatting, and he was shaking my hand. He said, "Thank you for what you're doing." He says, "I'm so pleased that you're taking an interest in the animals. We love the animals here." He said, "My men, they're just being protective. Please don't make anything of it." And da, 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 da. I said, "Okay." I said, "Look, if I could help you right here and now," I said, "normally anything would go through an organization or something like that. But if there's something I can do right now, then tell me." And he said, "Well, you can see the dogs." He said, we love the dogs. We look after them and we protect them from the villagers who are not good with them. He said, "But the food is a problem always, unfortunately, because there isn't a campaign now to castrate them, you see." So I said, "Okay, look," I said, "I'm here for a few more days." I said, "I will sort out, I will get some food for you, and I will come back to you." And he looked at me. I said, "Okay." I said, "You may not, maybe you think I won't." I said, "I give you my word, I will come back to you." Okay, he said. I shook hands and off we went. So that when I got back to Zaki and I said to him about it, he said, "Okay, look," he said, "we have to go over into the town to the big. They got like huge WalMarts like in America in what's it, what's it called, 3rd of October section of the city. It's a long way out anyway." He said, "Come with me." He says, "And you get the best value there." And sure enough, got a long story short, went out there. They did their shopping for the guest house, and I went in and got some these bloody great big bags of food, proper food for him, and got a couple of those bags. And Zaki arranged with me, with a for tick tock to rather than walk all the way. It's a long bloody way around, and we went an even longer way with a tuk tuk, which was great. And got to the station, and the guy, "Oh, when he saw me again, police chief shaking hands, and I said, "Oh, you got it. Thank you so much. Thank you." And I said, "Look, all I can suggest to you," he said, "I'll put the word out there." Said, if your name can be mentioned to anybody that will help on a regular basis, then I'll do it. I'll try. And I'm back. I'm saying less than a couple of weeks back now, and I haven't really thought to do much more of it. But here we are talking about it on the radio, on the podcast, and yeah, it'd be nice to revive in some way and find a way for the Giza Foundation to be revived, maybe.
It would, after what I seen, after what these people just saying, I think that it needs. Which points out Master Hacker X, which is Joe Gibson, throws out there to you. He's like, so the local, just curious question. So the local police turn a blind eye to the citizens that see these things?
It's just the thing is, it's an what's the word now? It's an endemic situation. It needs to be through the authorities for publicity, for tourists, in particular, the one people section of society there that has got the biggest voice, that scares them the most. There's two things, and that is tourist speaking and acting. But the other thing above all, and I'm going to say this openly, certainly for Egypt, certainly for Cairo, there is one thing above everything that has got power. They absolutely loathe bad publicity.
Well, we'll tell you what. Them pictures that you shared with me, I'm going to give them all the fucking bad publicity I can give them. Because I'm going to take them images and I'm going to completely start check this out. I'm going to start a Facebook page and I'm going to call it the dark side of Giza.
In which case, I've got enough photographs, Matthew.
You line them bastards up, because I'm telling you right now, you know how I feel about Hawass and the way he has done the world.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
I know.
Well, of course there's nothing to see here. You got a goddamn spotlight in your eyes and you can't see behind the light.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
That's
Richard,
what it is, yeah.
another comment, Mr. Benny Trent says, with Trevor in Mexico, those pyramids are y'all finding a lot of correlations.
That's referring to Bill's work.
Well, I didn't know that we paid for Trevor to go to Mexico.
No, I don't know what the arrangement is, where how that.
I don't know that. I didn't see that, or I didn't even hear that. Mr. Benny Trent says, "Man, I'm gonna go to. Sounds like a great idea. Fuck yeah! I mean, again, these things need to be called out. They absolutely do. Because not everything in Giza is pretty. Nothing. It's for real. We just pretty much showed you shock and awe. I mean, if it doesn't get a movement, then that means that there's a reason why it don't get a movement.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody, their brother should be sharing what you just seen.
Yeah.
And get this shit put to bed. It doesn't need to be this way.
I'll tell you one thing, Matthew. I wish I wish I could say to you that I've seen signs of people doing more than just swallowing this promise of essentially Disney Giza. I wish there was some sign there of people railing against it, railing back from it. But the trouble is, you see, Matthew, somebody who hasn't been to Giza before and doesn't know the history or hasn't experienced the history, who are seeing it now for the first time, to them it's, oh, look at this, it's another Disneyland Paris, it's another Disneyland America. They don't realize, they don't put the thought to it. They just take it at face value for what it's doing. It's like looking at the barren section of the village. You're
welcome, Joe. Joe's, check this out. It's Hacker watches a lot of cameras. Okay, I can't speak for him, but I know that he watches a lot of cams around the world, and he throws out there. He says, "The veil of deceit has been lifted for me. Thank you, Richard."
God bless you. Yeah, thank you for your words.
Richard, you got anything positive to say on your way out of here? We're going to wrap this up in an hour and a half, bro.
Well, all I'd say to you is, for all the negative side of things, I mean, you're right. We haven't touched on a whole bunch of things.
There's a whole other show
Look,
that under the plateau we haven't even talked about.
look,
Okay.
there's my thing
Yeah.
started. I got to about the first three lines.
Okay. So we've got another 10 lines. Sorry, 13
Yeah,
lines.
but I got to say to you though, Matthew, for all the mm, reservations about certain aspects, you're still dealing with people over there that have got a heart and a soul, who are beautiful and would give their life for you. They would protect you no matter what. It's just that there's an endemic um, hierarchy there that promotes the greed and possession that those at the top um, make damn sure that they got a hold of. But
Mm.
um, but it doesn't mean to say that it's got to stay like that forever. The wheel always keeps turning, but it takes people to actually speak up. Not just me. I mean, I'm I'm a typical, press the button, wind me up, press the button, and I'll keep going until somebody kicks me off my stool. I'm the original gobshite. I'll be first to admit it. There's nothing perfect in me, mistakes, but you do get what you see, and you see what you get. There's no pretense. I can recognize bullshit from about 10,000 yards away. And I hate dealing with people that give bullshit. And there's an awful lot of people to do with the Giza Plateau that give nothing but bullshit, you know.
Yes.
And the time when you'll hear me start to open my voice, I do. I mean, okay, you've got to show yourself when you're on a podcast or something like this, but I don't generally look for headlines. I hate banner headlines. I'd rather just talk about the truth. That's all I'm interested in, is the truth, understanding what happened and the truth. I said, and the truth needs a chance to get out there. I said, it needs people to speak up, though, not to accept things as they are. I mean,
Blindly.
there must be
Yes.
others who agree with that it isn't as it should be, and that they've got some steam in them to write a letter of complaint, write back to the travel company. There you go. Write back
Hmm.
to the travel company and say, I enjoyed my holiday there, but, and tell them what the but is. Put it on, put the pressure on, because those companies, they don't like that sort of pressure, and they'll pass it on. It'll be like pass the parcel. Here, somebody's handed me a hot potato. Here, you can have it. You deal with it. It's coming from you, so you deal with it. If people did that, it just needs people for 5 minutes to take the trouble to put an email in the right direction, or in the right direction of whoever they were with. If thousands and thousands of people put a complaint, a reservation, gave their views and told them what they thought, then it would have an effect. It really would have a positive effect. You would have less people doing what they're doing in a bad way. And they're not, it's only some, because some do look after what they're doing. But
Hmm.
while I was staying there this time, Matthew, give you an example. Okay. Three times when I was looking out over the balcony, I was up three ground, first, second floor, over the balcony. There's one thing that they're still doing now, uh, and they were doing it back then. So a couple of decades on, they're still doing it, and that is at night time when the horses and the I counted one, not actually counted, and there was just over 1,000 camels came past within a space of time from the plateau end to go back to the stables. And you can reckon on the horses probably about the same, and carriages also. But when it starts to thin, you get the young lads, and they're all young lads that do it. You get the young lads on the horses when the saddle's off, and they'll start racing them up and down, cracking the whip on them, whacking them with a whip. Three times I saw the horse underneath the kid, its hoofs on the slippery, smoothed off tarmac or concrete, slipping out from underneath it and going flying, roly poly, flat, smacked on the ground. The only time that it heartened my soul was when one of the young lads who was on the back of one of the horses that he pushed to that state where he got hurt. And I was literally applauding.
Hey,
Um,
I ain't saying shit.
but I didn't leave it at that. I did put a complaint in. I asked for a complaint to be fed up, for the word to be put up through, because in each little area of the village that's there, the extended village, each has its own controller there, its own don. It's only senior family member, and the word needs to be put back to them in the stable area. The word needs to go back, and they're the ones that put the thumb on the kids and said, "Stop! That's our business. You're going to push money away from us." And it needs
Damn.
tourists to do that, to complain, not to let it go, not to go, "Oh my God, that's terrible." Oh my
But there again, the tourists. Don't look. You pick you pick the right person to share these photos with, because I'm the right person that can help, like, put a stop. The tourists need to see. They absolutely need to see what we just shared.
Yeah.
The tourists of Egypt need to see what we just shared. I promise you. Well, you know, I don't. Do you give a shit to have them images watermarked? Yes or no?
No,
If you,
that makes no difference to me.
it does or doesn't.
No, you can do whichever you feel is the best, Matthew.
I just think they need out. I think every image that we've got that we've got like this, they need out there. And the date was let's see, when was it you were over there? February.
24th.
All right, so it's January, the middle of January. So these are all, every one of these pictures are new.
Yeah,
They're recent.
Yeah. Yep. They are latest. But
All
I've
right.
got tons. I've got folders full of them. Awful, awful pictures.
Mr. Richard, I'm playing the bumper music, bro. We've got to get out of here.
Okay.
So look, you say something positive to everybody. I'm gonna exit this little screen right here, and
Okay.
I'll catch you another day.
And I'd say to everybody, thanks a lot for those that put up with me. I am like a rabbit, like a non-stop bloody talking machine. But thank you so much, people that are interested and give me more than 5 minutes of your time. All I can say to you is, look, with Egypt and everything in life, the wheel keeps turning, you know, and you've got to be true to yourself. You know, people still might think you're full of crap. You know, I'm sure there's people that think I'm full of crap, but you got to be true to yourself. That's all you can be, and just give it as you find it. Like I said, you know, I mean, I've got this bloody book. I'm sad now. I've got so many things on there, you know, experiences and things to share out. But, you know, maybe with Matthew's blessing, we'll find another slot soon, and I can maybe pick up where I left off. But also, I would say to you, as a last word, perhaps, if you want to get more of the experience and see a lot more of the galleries, please share from my Facebook page. I'm under Richard Gabriel. There's a lot of people with the same name, but I use a circular white tiger logo. Okay, so it's Richard Gabriel with a white tiger logo. And you know, if you see stuff on there and you want to support, just share it, please. You know, just share it around, pass the word on, get it out to more people. Other than that, bless you, and may your God go with you.
Mr. Richard Gabriel, let me tell you what, buddy. One more time, gonna say goodbye to you. I appreciate you. I seriously do. I appreciate you for being with me, sharing with everybody for the past 2.5 hours. And again, that we just barely touched the surface of what all we've got to talk. We haven't even really talked about the shit that like Benny was talking about, the SAR scans. Let's go over the SAR scans. We haven't even really touched over any of that. We didn't touch over none of that. There's still a whole broadcast left to talk about.
I hope in the meantime, Matthew, because it'll take the story away, I hope in the meantime that Gebel Gibli doesn't collapse.
Well, no, I'll knock on wood, okay? That's what I'm doing. Let's hope.
Yeah. So there you
All right,
go.
brother.
Thank you,
Brother
so
Richard.
much,
Take care of yourself, and again, we'll catch you here another day, another way. Got to get you scheduled. All right.
Yeah, thank you. No, you're the man. Thank you so much, Matthew.
You're welcome, buddy. Good night to you.
Okay, good night to you too, and to everybody out there. Bless
All
you.
right. Bye.
Okay, bye now.
Ladies and gentlemen, gals and goons all over this great planet dirt. She got a name though, right? It's Gaia. Oh my God, I love that man. No homo. I love that man, truly. He is a walking, talking thesis of years of hands in the dirt under the Giza Plateau, Mr. Richard Gabriel. Again, this is only one part of our team. I'll say our team on the Giza Plateau, and I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a ton of shit that we did not cover. There's a ton of stuff that we still got to go over, and it's coming. It's definitely coming. And what I shared with you, and what Richard shared with you tonight about, about the dirty things that goes on, the sight unseen. Absolutely, I'll get over. I'll get everything I can get. Get over to you, Joe. Get it over to Anunnaki, to Benny, Tree Spirit Wars, Rogan, everybody. Everybody I can get that to. Prepare for incoming. Okay, I promise you, there's going to be the dark side of Giza. That's what it'll be. The dark side of Giza. And every single image that I can fucking find, I'm going to dump it there because it deserves to be seen. To you authority, all of if watching this or not, I just want to say this. Shame on you. That shit needs to be cleaned up. It shouldn't. These animals should not be treated like this. The tourists should not have to deal with this. And you know what? Again, the money coming in on all of this tourism and things. Come on, man! You've wiped out half the entirety of the ancient villages. I'm talking the old school Egyptian villages. The village people, haha. It's gone. It's fucking gone. Why? Nothing to see here. We'll talk about that on the next broadcast with Richard. Y'all, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And I've made some kick-ass screens for you guys on the way out of here. Hopefully I don't have problems with my music right now. But I want to share with you some really kick-ass screens. The name of this broadcast song is called The Reward is Greater. Absolutely. Shout out to you, Richard. I know you do what you do. You put your life on the line as well as all of the other team. We appreciate you. I truly do. And again, everybody, take care of yourselves. We'll catch you here Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock West Coast Time. Yeah. Enjoy yourselves. Again, the reward is greater. Crank it up, everybody. Good night.
On quicksand comes tumbling down. When you take a deep breath and you open your eyes, everything's clearer when you realize that it's all